Hey, this is the Royal Rant where we talk about the LA Kings. I'm Ryan.
Ron, Tim.
And there's a lot of good things to talk about. First off, home best franchise win total for a season. 28 now. 27. When they beat the Sharks, they passed it. Beating Winnipeg made it 28. And let's talk about that. How do you feel about beating Winnipeg not once, not twice, but three
But
times?
yeah, pretty awesome. Beating the best team in the league 3 times and kind of making it look easy, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised. It seems like those three games all kind of had the same vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Jets just really couldn't get their game going at all. Didn't look like, I mean, yeah, it didn't look like the Kings were, that far from Winnipeg in terms of being a very good team
Yeah, and Winnipeg's been, great all year.
all year. Yeah. Started off
Winnipeg,
great.
yeah, started off, came out like right out of the gate. They've been neck and neck with Washington as
Hmm.
being the top dogs in the league. Not really sure where Washington came from, but I guess we'll see if they're really this good when the playoffs start.
Yeah. Seemed
Kings
like
have
they
beat
got,
them too, so
yeah. Hmm.
that's one thing about, I mean, as bad as they've been on the road, you do have to say that they've beaten everybody that's good, really, at least once, pretty much. They beat Vegas three times.
Yeah,
They've beaten Winnipeg three times, we just talked about. They've beaten the Caps. They've taken down some of the best teams. Now, they did lose that game to Colorado.
yeah,
Toronto, I mean, they were in that game. They probably should have pulled that out.
yeah. Some bad turnovers and
Yeah, some pretty, yes, wonky turnovers and
trapped in your own zone, not being able to clear the puck.
yeah, just kind of some sloppy stuff kind of let them come back and some dumb penalties.
Hmm.
That challenge that didn't work out.
Yeah, that was pretty lame. That stuff
Um,
just happens in hockey, but that was a pretty lame call.
but I mean, I mean, if you're a Kings fan, it's pretty exciting to watch this team right now.
I know it's a total opposite from like a few months ago. When they were not being able to produce much offense, and even when they were winning games, they weren't very exciting games, and then putting up 7 goals back to back at home, and you know
Dropped an 8 spot for the Sharks.
oh yeah, exactly. Just unloaded on them. you know,
I mean,
but
if they could get anywhere to that kind of scoring, they'd be pretty hard to beat because they don't give up. They just don't give up a lot,
mm,
and it doesn't really matter who they're playing. It's
mm,
still tight. It's not a lot of open ice. It makes you think like, why can't they beat the Oilers this time?
man, they sure knock on wood. They're sure looking like they can. As of late.
I mean, I
Uh,
guess we'll see. We'll see with these two games coming up to in April
mm,
what they look like. If they take a bunch of penalties and the Oilers are just scoring on like every power play, then we'll know we're kind of back to square
yeah, I mean,
5-on-5 if they can stay out of the box. And their penalty kills getting has been better.
mm,
I think they're like eighth in the league, their
that's
PK.
pretty good.
And of course, the power play is still like, I don't know, 28th or something.
No,
Although it's been better lately, a little bit,
yeah,
probably
it's a
because of Kuzmenko.
yeah. Now, can we talk about how awesome he's been? I mean,
Yeah, because the last time we did a pod, I was kind of clowning on him because I think he had played 4 games and he had like 0 points.
hmm but he had hit some crossbars and he did feed Kempe and Kopitar with some cool passes. So
Yeah, no, I mean he had some flashes. I mean he looked pretty dynamic, but he just hadn't gotten on the score sheet. But lately, I mean he's had at least like 2 multi-point games,
hmm
and some of the that goal that they scored that was against the Sharks, right? When Kuzmenko put on the brakes and just sent
yeah,
that Shark defender spinning off into cyberspace,
yeah,
got that puck over to Gavrikov, and then he did, to his credit, he did that nice flick over to Kempe, who just had like a open cage to shoot in.
yeah.
That
I
was,
think that was the best goal of the season for the Kings.
yeah, I mean that was beautiful.
And then that no look pass that he did last night, and then he did the no look shot and scored. Like I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, when was the last time? I know it's only okay, so it's just a few games. Though. When was the last time the top line like looked that like deadly and kind of dynamic?
Yeah,
I think Justin Williams was playing for the Kings the last time. I mean, honestly, right?
Yeah. No, I mean it's pretty exciting
Hmm.
to think about, if they do maintain second and they can start out at home,
That would be huge.
they have a chance to go up 2-0 on the Oilers
Hmm.
because I think they've only lost 4 regulation games at
That's
home,
correct. Hmm.
which is staggering.
I mean, that just has to be a huge confidence, like
The Jets,
boost
they
going
also
into
have
the playoffs,
28.
right?
The Jets, they also have 28 wins at home, but then they have like 6 regulation losses.
Hmm.
I think 4 overtime losses. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, it does worry me just to have that discrepancy.
Yeah,
'Cause I was looking through the standing and it's like, I think Tampa, they're only like 500 on the road. And, you wouldn't say that Tampa's not a contender, right? I mean,
yeah,
they
I
almost
would
always are.
100%.
So, but just the fact that the Kings are what, like 4 games under or something? I mean, it's such a radical split.
Yeah, and I don't know why they, you know, been not nearly so good on the road. It really doesn't. I mean,
It is, it's nutty. Because if they were just 500, they'd probably be in first,
yeah. I mean, that's an awesome record to have.
right? Or they'd be, if they just had 4 more wins on the road, right? Yeah, that would change everything. They'd already have like 101 points or something. Yeah, I mean, it's I guess people just tend to be down on the Kings because they've lost 3 years in a row, but this is probably the strongest team they've had during that stretch, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Kemper, he's really solidified, the net, and
Mm.
we'll just pray to God that he stays healthy and can keep playing. Because,
Oh yeah,
but I mean, I guess that, if they can keep handling business at home, they can, if they can just squeak out a road win, they can win a series.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to. I don't know. To me, I think we talked about this before. McDavid, he just doesn't quite look the same.
He's
Drysdale,
not. Yeah,
he could probably win the Hart Trophy because.
he's up there. He's definitely
But
leading the league in points.
I'm hoping that they're gonna miss Fogel now that he's
Yeah.
wearing this because
Hmm.
that guy's been amazing.
So awesome. And he's really been awesome. And I was just thinking, like that's the King's goal, over the last few years, is to have like find that balance scoring. And I'm like, man, that guy's helped out so much in that. And even more like, you know, I'm kind of surprised. Like he has 16 now, and he missed a lot of time and he wasn't playing good at all. But man, it's like, dude, they go in postseason, like he could put up, maybe get 20 goals. I mean, I'm sure he will. So that's
I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
he should hit it. I mean, so should Byfield.
Yep. And then you have Kempe and Kopitar and Fiala,
Yeah, yeah.
with Vogel. Ferrier,
Very.
Ferrier, he did he score one against the Sharks or was that no, was that against the Jets?
I don't know.
I can't. I know it's like this avalanche of goals. I can't keep them straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like before you, like it was such a rarity.
Yeah, I'm sure like Dieter Rule, he probably has an ice pack on his hand because of having to
I
like
know.
turn the goal horn on so much. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you're just kind of cautiously optimistic. And I think somebody sent an email to Eddie Garcia on his podcast on Locked On Kings and was saying, hey, you keep saying the Kings don't have a chance, but you should be more positive and stuff. And I guess it is kind of like that narrative that, and even people that follow and write about the team, like, oh, well, they're not really built to contend now. And you're kind of, but then you think about it, it's like, well, why?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because they have these, they've got this mix of vets and younger guys, and they've got a goalie who's putting up, not hellebuck
Mhm.
numbers. Obviously, he'll win the Vezina, but I mean,
He's not
he
that
could get,
far off.
he should be in the final 3 guys. Honestly,
Hmm. He should. Yeah.
if anybody's paying attention to those games on the West Coast,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like, yeah, well, why not? And it's all about getting out of the first round. Like we talked, the first round. We were talking about that the other day. It's like getting out of the first round is so hard, and just the way the playoffs are built now. There's not an easy, nobody really has a gimme matchup because
Hmm.
even, with the way the Blues are playing right now, like who's going to want to them as a wild card.
Yeah, I know they've been on such a streak, and even before, I mean, they're just a tough team to play against. They're real stingy, you know,
And they're
and they've
not
been
that
been
many
gone.
years removed from winning the cup themselves, you know. So I mean, there's just not a gimme. So it's not necessarily an excuse. I mean, the Kings should get out of a round. They haven't gotten out of a round, you know, since 2014.
Yeah, isn't that
The
crazy?
way things are built in the playoffs, it's like this year is going to be the same.
Mm.
Colorado or Dallas is going to get bounced in the first round. You know, Toronto or Tampa is going to get bounced in the first round.
See, that shouldn't happen. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, this is
I
where
guess it
you enjoy watching
amplifies the
hockey.
playoffs. It's like when it starts, it's go time. Like you got to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't have some like, um, you know, gimme matchup or something like it maybe used to happen back when it was 1 through 8, but that's
Mm-hmm.
on now. So I guess maybe it makes things more intense, like off the get go.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, like you were saying, you kind of give up. You know, your team might be gone before you're even into the playoffs, before you're really getting into it. Like, oh man.
Well, that's the thing too. It seems like all like the interesting matchups are done in the first round, and it seems like I put that together like just the last couple of days, thinking like, yeah, I used to watch like the whole championship, and then now it's like after the first round, I stopped watching it. It's not just because the Kings are gone; it's like all the interesting matchups are the ones I was looking forward to are done. So it's like I'll watch the final, but maybe, but like I don't really follow it.
But I mean, even like, I mean, Winnipeg, you know, they might end up playing the Blues.
Yeah, see, and that
They're
would
already
you be shocked if the Blues beat them?
not
No,
at
I
all
wouldn't be
of how fragile they've been over the years.
in the playoffs. Yeah,
You know, you can't discount that because there's some mojo, there's some vibe up there where like they go down a game or they lose game 1 in Winnipeg or something, you could just see them just falling apart, even though
yeah,
they've got like the best goalie in the league, you know.
yeah. I don't know what it is. It must be just the pressure there, or there's something.
Because you know, and it's not. I mean, he hasn't played well, you know, in the playoffs.
No,
So it's not like the skaters let him down. It was like everybody just kind of.
mm,
So that could be a thing. I mean, Vegas playing Minnesota. I mean, the Wild, they're pretty tough. I mean,
mm,
you know, you look at they beat the Kings just a couple of weeks ago, pretty convincingly.
mm.
You know, so I don't know. That's Central. It's just pretty nasty.
It's tough. It's the toughest division.
But you know, as far as the Kings go, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like Trevor Moore, he's looking more like himself from last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's trying to beat guys with his speed. He's being more direct. He's taking the puck like right to the net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He'd come in and be in real, you know, real tight, and he would just like roof it,
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Velarde style.
Mm-hmm.
He was when Moore was really feeling. He kind of starting to look like that again. So that's cool.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I will
Um,
say.
It's just gonna be what did you think about them going with Riddich in that Colorado game? That was kind of a whole thing.
Yeah, I know. It's that loss wasn't on him and none of those goals. He didn't give up any bad goals, but you're like, man, you've been so good at home. You want to secure, home ice advantage in the playoffs. You want to stay in that number 2 spot. Like, why wouldn't you start Kemper against Colorado? And then I was thinking too, do you think that like affects the team? Like not having their best guy in net? Like, do they think like I don't know. I wonder if that puts doubt in the rest of the team too. Because it seems like lately too, like Hiller's been doing things to try to like boost his confidence, Riddick's confidence. Like when he challenged that goalie interference that wasn't goalie interference at all. And he kind of what game was that? I can't remember who they were playing. And then he kind of said that too, that he kind of did that, to like I don't know. And that's the thing too. It's like, well, it's cool to like let your backup know you have his back and you believe him and everything. But then it's like you don't want it to be a detriment to the team, you know?
Yeah, I mean you have to look at the numbers, and I don't have him off.
Mhm.
You know, he's been really, really sketchy on the road all year.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Letting like have him on the road playing against Colorado when they were going to be playing, like the Sharks at home soon, and you could
That's the
rest
thing, and I think
them.
that's the thing that
Mhm.
people were ticked off about. It's like, you know, pick your spot.
Mhm.
Have him start at home against the Sharks.
Yeah, which is a no-brainer.
Or even Boston, if you want. Have him do one of those games. He's better at crypto.
Well, that's it too. Remember, didn't he started them? He started him at home against who was it? I can't remember. But I thought it was weird that he started. Was it? Oh, it was the Canes, right? When they played the Canes,
I
they
think, yeah, I think
started
so.
him, and I was like, well, that's weird because they're playing Boston tomorrow, and you think they'd start him against Boston, because they haven't been their normal badass selves.
They
So
seem the coaching they seem to want to get him going, I guess. But it's kind of like with the points you're at the season, you need 2 points almost every night if you want to hold on to second.
mm,
Or, if you're dreaming that maybe you could catch Vegas, which I think is probably not going to happen.
that's too
And
steep.
and in the playoffs, Riddick's not seeing any time in net in the playoffs unless there's an injury or something.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah,
I don't
it
see the
doesn't.
point of getting him fired up now.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's just kind of weird, right? It's
So
you
I
don't.
kind of agree. Some people are like, it's the right decision. It's like, well, I don't really see how you can justify.
I don't see how that could be, or what's the positive of doing that, having
I
them
don't
start
see
the
what the
game.
talking points is for that, other than like,
Yeah.
I guess, oh yeah, if he manages to win that game, oh look, he beat the Avs. Okay, but it would have been just as cool to have Kemper beat the Avs and take those 2 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Riddick on the bench. I mean, I don't think anybody would be complaining about, Kemper had started against the Avs and they won in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. No.
And when you compare it to like, I don't know, I heard today, forget, I mean, Hellebuck started a ridiculous amount of games in Winnipeg, right?
No. Yeah. It's
Kemper,
like.
he's not even close to that. And so it's like he shouldn't really be.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. I mean, he missed quite a few games being injured. And Riddick's played quite a few, so it's not like. Maybe Winnipeg does have to worry about all of, playing him so much. But I mean, for
Yeah, I
Kemper,
would
that's
be.
not going to be a problem.
You wonder why. I mean, I guess they're still trying to make sure they hold on to first. I don't know how many points clear they are of like Dallas, but yeah, it seems like he's started a ridiculous amount of games.
I think Dallas is starting to gain on him. I think that's maybe why they're riding with them so hard.
I think, what did I hear? I think Vasilevsky maybe has almost as many ridiculous starts as Hellebuck, but Kemper's not anywhere in that neighborhood. So I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
I
Because
know.
you were talking about if it's deflating for the players. I mean, yeah, it might be. I mean, obviously they can't speak to that. They can't threaten
No, they couldn't say
the
anything.
buzz, but
Maybe it doesn't make a
sort of in
difference
the
because
same
you just
way that
wonder.
the teams that won the cup, they felt, when they were playing in front of Quick, they probably felt like that was always their best chance to win a game.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same way with Kemper now.
Mm,
But I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's really, yeah, it'd be kind of nice to fast forward to those two Edmonton games. That's really
I
kind of,
know.
I think that's all that remains to be seen.
Mm, I
Obviously,
know,
yeah, you
right?
don't want to lose to Utah for no
No.
reason when you can pick up the
Mm,
points and get a win on the road. There, just to maybe try to build a little confidence. Hey, we can actually win on the road a little bit. I was
mm,
hoping that they would have started that a month ago, so they could have maybe gotten back to 500 or something.
mm,
If you're like, okay, awesome record at home, 500 on the road, good to go.
mm.
But yeah, I think getting Kuzmenko for like a third round pick,
No, it's
that's
such a steal. I
that's like
mean, that's
an awesome move.
yeah. Whoever scouted him needs a raise because he's just playing like with so much confidence but he's pulling it off. And he's not reckless defensively. He's not cheating the game. So I don't. Yeah, I'm really stoked on him.
Well, you know what happened the last time the Kings got a disgruntled, talented forward out from under Tortorella?
Yeah,
Marion Gaborik.
Gabrick. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Gabrick a
I
little
don't
bit.
know if they'll be able to do that because they went on to win the cups. But Gaborik was, I mean, he was just awesome that whole playoff run.
Oh yeah, he was so good.
And dare we dream that Kuzmenko will do the same
Mhm.
thing?
I
I
think
mean,
he's just
he's got elite hands and stuff. I
yeah.
mean,
This is he absolutely does, and he's just playing with such confidence, and it's like I just think he's really taking advantage of this. He's like, okay, I'm on a contending team. They're playing well. Their goalie's awesome. They're killing it at home. I'm just gonna like let it all hang out. And that's the thing too. If I want him just to keep doing it, even if he does like make a dumb turnover or something. It's just like who cares? Just
You
keep
know, he
going.
doesn't really though, because it seemed like in Philly they were making it out like he was just such a liability defensively. But his time with the Kings, like what has he really done that's been like an egregious? I haven't really seen him do anything.
I haven't either. And he just chases down the puck too. I mean, that's the king style, but he's always like, you know, fighting it out, trying to win puck battles and stuff,
Yeah,
like he's
I mean,
tenacious as
wants
hell.
the puck
So
on his stick. You know, he's kind of like Fiala in that way. Like he wants the
yeah.
puck,
And I guess,
and
but that's the difference between him and Fiala. He's like I think he has like an intuition better, like he knows his spots, and I think Fiala's figured that out too. But it took him a while is when he could, dangle fools, and when he could try to pull off something crazy, and when he can't.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, Kuz, I mean, he definitely has that vision. He sees
Mm-hmm.
who guys are, and he
Mm-hmm.
puts the puck on their tape. And doesn't really force stuff because that's sometimes the thing with the
Yeah.
Kings season that was making people tear their hair out is they would just kind of overpass.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was so great when he scored that goal. I guess that was against the Sharks, where I thought for a second he was going to pass it, and then he just sent that wrister,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a good hard shot, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't pass to an area where nothing's going on there.
Yeah, don't try to pass through a defender or something like
You're
that.
right up the middle of the ice. Shoot the puck, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I think Byfield's gotten better at, not trying to overpass as much.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this before on the pod. Like his shot looks so much better
Yeah,
than it's been.
yeah, it is. It's funny,
I mean,
it started off, this season looking pretty good. Then it kind of went in the dumps again, and now, now it's back on track.
yeah, I mean, he'll probably always be more of a passer than shooter, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's still hard to tell because he's still developing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's also okay. I mean, if he uses his size and makes plays, and that's kind of what Joe Thornton made a living off of.
Yeah, he was very good at that.
I mean, he still scored, but
Yeah, he put up a bunch of points.
he used his size, and he was huge, but he didn't check the hell out of people, and that's kind of like Byfield's thing too. Although
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to be more physical, you see
Mm-hmm.
him hit more. But yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. I can't wait for the playoffs to start because
Yeah, me
we're gonna see exactly what we're dealing with here.
either.
Is Byfield gonna step up? Is Kuzmenkov gonna have an impact?
I think
Is Trevor Moore gonna be dangerous?
Dano's killing it too.
Who is?
Dano.
Yeah, I mean, he's also starting to get a little more feel for his offense again because
Mm-hmm.
compared to his first few seasons with the Kings, his goals have dropped off. But we talked about it many times. I mean, he's never scored as much as he has in LA.
Yeah.
He never did that in Montreal. They already got a lot of that mileage out of that for that. But yeah, first things first, beat Utah, win on the road. Now, do you play Riddick against Utah? I
Yeah,
don't.
I would.
Why?
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, they try. I mean, I think they should just keep Kemper, dialed in. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess maybe they could give him.
I mean, don't you think that they'll most likely do that?
I don't know, but God, it's just night and day, the way he
Oh,
plays at
yeah.
home, the way he plays on the road. It's like, and I like the guy. I think he's cool, but if you need those 2 points, you're trying to fight off Edmonton. You want to hold on a second. I just don't know if you can give him any more road games.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they're just trying to build that dude up.
I mean, like we were talking about earlier, I think it's kind of too late for that.
Mm-hmm.
And because, well, I mean, if Kemper has some injury and misses the playoffs for God, whatever reason, I mean, isn't that pretty much game over?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like we
I
were
mean,
talking about, when he was trying to throw down with Swyman. It's like, yeah, he would have broken his hand. I mean, season over.
yeah, that cracked me up when Spitting Chicklets called like the greatest crime of all, stopping a goalie fight. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, everybody gets into that. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, it's like a primal thing before your brain takes over, and it's like, actually, this would be terrible because if he gets hurt, bye bye playoffs. Then that guy comes in, you're like, oh yeah, thanks for that. You're right.
Yeah.
But
That.
And you're like, ooh, yeah,
That's the general manager voice.
the general
Now
manager
we need to
voice.
protect my goalies because he's a huge investment.
That I mean, that I'm sure that voice is going on in Jim Hiller's head. Oh my God, no! Somebody grab him! Yeah, and I mean that would have that was kind of like when was that just last season when Copley wanted to fight Gibson get when they were playing the
Yeah, I think
Ducks,
it was just last season.
and Copley, was a huge reason why that season wasn't a disaster in the first place.
Mhm.
So if he
Mhm.
would have gotten hurt fighting Gibson, that would have been terrible too. It's
Yeah, that
like
would have been. Yeah, that would have been shitty too.
I don't think anybody, unless the goalie, I think they were talking about that on Spitting Chicklets too. Like if the goalie starts it, but then he can go over to the bench and tag anybody to replace him. So that'd be kind of cool. You get the helmets off. Maybe you start to score off with the goalie, and then you go over there and you tap Janot to
You know.
come in. Not now because he's hurt. Maybe Marlott or who else? Edmondson, he's a big
Oh,
dude.
Emerson, like Hellenius.
Oh, Hellenius. Yeah, you grab
Mhm.
Sammy, get him in there, and then you get your goalie out of it.
Yeah, Malat's fight with Carlo, that was pretty awesome. That was like an old school
Yeah,
90s hockey back and forth brawl. That was pretty
and
cool.
they want to keep going too. That was the these like ESPN kind of Wednesday night hockey vibe.
I saw some clips of the Canes Capital games, and it just seemed like they were fight. I don't. Did you watch it at all?
No,
It
I
just
saw
seemed like
that.
they were fighting all night long. Like, I was like, oh, I might have to check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, they kind of hate each other.
Yeah, it all started. Remember when Ovechkin knocked out what's that guy? And it was like his first year too for the Canes. He's another Russian. He was a Russian kid.
Oh,
And during the playoffs, like in
is it
19,
Semestikov? No.
yeah, no, it is, and he just destroyed him. It's like ever since then, that game was pretty brutal because TJ Oshie. I think that was Fogel who did that. He checked him and just like totally destroyed him. I remember watching that and I was like, man, it looks like they're helping him off the ice and he was like so hunched over and I was like, man, he looks like he's crippled. So yeah,
That's
they have a lot of bad blood.
that's the history. I saw that because they smoked. Ovechkin scored another goal. He scored the only goal they scored, I think, because I think they lost 5-1. Now
Okay.
is he
Three
just
away.
3 away from passing or tying?
Pa-
From passing.
no, passing. Two from tying.
Incredible.
And I think I saw that it's almost this exact same amount of games that Gretzky did it in. I think he's maybe like behind him in like 2 games or something.
Incredible.
Yeah, just nuts.
Because he's 40, right?
He's-
He's either 39 or 40. I mean, that's got to be one of the greatest seasons of all time for a dude that age. I mean, Gordie Howe probably had some seasons like that because he played forever.
yeah,
I mean, I think he played into his 50s or something.
yeah. Because he was one of the last dudes in the league who could still not
Yeah.
wear a helmet, and he had his gray hair.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And he played with his sons. That old that dude was. Like Mark Howe, and I forget the other Howe. But yeah, when you think about, how, what Gretzky did at his age, at Ovechkin's age now, it's like nothing, not even close.
Yeah,
I mean, his game fell off a lot. And Ovechkin, I mean, God, is he going to like come back next year and like do the same kind of stuff?
you'd figured he I mean, he's I would absolutely guarantee he's going to come back next
He's
year.
going for 1,000 goals.
Wouldn't that be insane?
Well, I mean, look at the pace he's on. Like, he's going to have probably over 900 by the end of this year, right?
Yeah.
Because he's at 896 now or something. And then
Mm,
I guess you'd have to play 2 more seasons and average almost 50 goals.
50 goals.
It'd be pretty insane, but it's hard to put it past him because he's just a machine.
Yeah. And third all time in hits. It's just insane. Like that's just the crazy all time goal leader and third overall in hits as well.
Yeah, they just don't build dudes like that every day.
I mean, who wouldn't want that guy in your hockey team?
Just such an incredible, probably just the greatest shooter, pure shooter of all.
Mhm.
And then just being super big and tough. It's incredible. Yeah, so I mean, who knows when he's gonna do it? I mean, he could, it's just like he could just have a hat trick like any time. And plus, our old friend Pierre-Luc Dubois is doing great in Washington.
Yeah. And well, I mean, we talked about that. We knew that was going to happen, that he'd start.
Yeah,
But
you
is it
knew
like,
that.
is he like? I haven't looked at his points in a while, but is he going to be like one of his? Is he going to surpass his best year, or just like be around it? Because I think his
I think
best season he has like
already.
66 points. Oh, okay, it could be, yeah,
I think I have to check that out for next time. But I thought he already passed that a little.
probably. I'll have to take a look. But
That's,
yeah, I mean, that's Blake's bad. I mean, we got Kemper, so that's all good. But still,
yeah, I don't know why there was such a.
taking a risk on that dude, and it just, I don't know. I don't think it ever would have worked out, for him in LA. He just
I just don't know why he was so ineffective. It's just, but it's over. The Kings are
seems
actually
much better this year.
better right now without him, and they've beaten those guys with him on the Caps. So,
Mm.
and Velarde, he's out upper body
Yeah,
something.
I
So
feel
I
so
don't know
bad
if
for
that
that
was.
team.
Yeah, it's too bad. He's so talented,
Hmm.
but that's probably one of the reasons why the Kings just decided not to, sign him long term because they must have just been, probably more of those injury concerns.
Hmm.
And the same thing with Arvidsson, letting
Oh yeah,
him
like,
was smart, and he's hardly played in Edmonton.
no, they definitely did the right thing getting. No, I mean, yeah. I remember at the time thinking about like, well, if Arvidsson stays healthy, but I don't even know why I thought that because remember how long he was out and came back for that one game, and he had one shift and he immediately just skated off and was out for I don't know another couple of weeks. It's like, dude, that hurts. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be able to play in the National Hockey League, right? If
No,
he's like injured that bad.
he's never gonna have a full healthy season. That dude,
Mm-hmm.
Velarde probably won't either.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's maybe a blessing in disguise that they just ended up with Kemper. He's playing great. They've got enough weapons, to beat people. They've done it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of doing it. So they should feel pretty good going into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they should.
I mean, and if they even just got a tiny bit better on the power play,
That'd be huge.
that could be all the difference. And the Oilers, they just don't look the same. Losing Fogle and having him be on the Kings and having him, remember how the other day he said that he hates the Oilers too?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Just music to your ear.
That's exactly what you want to hear from them.
Exactly. So he's already penciled in on his thing. I'm going to go off against the Oilers in the play. And you're like, I wouldn't put it past him.
Me either.
So yeah, that's why they need to get it together, finish strong, hold on a second, and maybe just go up 2-0 on the Oil and just have all the pressure be on them going back to
Absolutely.
Edmonton. And that might be the magic formula. But in the meantime, we'll be anticipating and dreaming about that game against the Oilers on Saturday.
That's gonna be so awesome.
That'll definitely be one they want. I mean, it'd be a bonus if they could win that one and beat them also in Edmonton on the return game, but at least pencil in that home one
Yeah,
and just see how many home wins they can get. I mean, why not break 30?
that'd be.
I mean, they broke it. Just really break the hell out of that home franchise record.
Mm,
Do it. Well, as we often say here, go Kings go.
go Kings, go.